Welcome back to Marvel Snap. If it's been a while, don't worry, I got you. One of the hardest things about Marvel Snap right now, hands down, is, well, if you want to come back to the game, how can you be relevant without the most recent cards? How can you climb to Infinite after not being there for over a year? I got you covered. The whole purpose of this video is to show you 5 different decks that are based on 5 different time periods in Marvel Snap. So whether you haven't played in 3 months, 6 months, or 2 years, I have current relevant deck lists that even if you've never stopped playing and you're just looking for some great lists that can help you climb and get to Infinite right now, I got you covered. So if you like this kind of content and you're back into the world of Marvel Snap, for those who do not know, my name is Guest, also known as ItsGuestGaming. I'm a full-time content creator for Marvel Snap, and I'm all over the place with anything and everything from the Golden Gauntlet to live streams to these kinds of videos. So I greatly appreciate your support and hitting that like and subscribe button below. So let's get right into it. Let's talk about the decks. The first deck I want to present to you right now is something that if you haven't played in 2 years, that's okay. There are lists that are available without any of the newest recent cards that are performing and helping players to climb into Infinite every season. And the first one I want to present to you is Toxic Surfer. This list is consistently in and out of the meta, and at least right now, for the last couple of seasons, has kept reappearing. There are no Series 4 cards or Series 5 cards in this list, so whether it's been 2 years or it's been 3 days, there is a chance you can build this list. And there's a couple of pieces to it that I think are incredibly important. Number one being Rogue. Rogue is a very under-respected tech card right now. There are a lot of strong ongoings as we start heading into 2026, and now I think the ability to undo the ongoing effect of what could be a lane-winning card for your opponent is the whole purpose of Rogue. And there are other newer cards that also have the same function that eventually, if you haven't played in a while, you'll start to unlock. But for now, Rogue is incredibly accessible very early on, so it's probably already sitting in your collection, possibly collecting dust. So I'm highly going to recommend that. And what's nice about this list too is that it has a little bit of flexibility. It has the Surfer ability to scale. I don't know, like it just feels like one of those lists that always can surprise your opponent. It's always underestimated. That's the best word for it. It's always underestimated when you get both Magic and Sarah on the board and you get that reduction and you've got 2 turns to build all of this chaos. Yeah, it's going to add up really quickly. So I like Toxic Surfer a lot right now. It has great stats on untap.gg, and that goes anywhere from rank 40 all the way through Infinite. So this is a very solid list. If you haven't been around in a while and you want to hop back right in, highly recommend go down the path of Toxic Surfer. Now, outside of that, let's kind of fast forward through time a little bit now. Now, if you haven't played in 18 months, there are a lot more cards that might be in your collection that you could have more flexibility with. Bullseye sent discard over the edge in this style of build. I'm gonna highly recommend this build for a couple of different reasons. Number one, you have pieces you can flex out here. 2, Scorn, Dakin, Meek, all of these kind of premiered all right around the same time. Even Frigga, scary to think, was a year ago, over a year ago from this deck's rise to greatness. And now what we see within it is non-interactive decks are still really good. So when you have a deck that runs the Dakin line, you're trying to get a second Dakin with Frigga, or you've just got Morbius going through the roof, Collector going through the roof because of all the swarm shenanigans that you're getting it to do. I mean, this is strong. This is really strong. Meek is the flex card, so if you want to throw in something else, you can. But I do want to shout out this list as we're progressing through these decks, and now we're at about a year ago of a deck that was okay, and then as people learned it, got better and better. This deck is very self-reliant on itself, and you're not interacting with your opponent that much. The only thing you're really doing against your opponent is inflicting them with a little bit of damage with Bullseye at the very end. And that's all you really need to do, because Morbius can scale into the 20s, Dakin can scale ridiculously, get into the 30s and plus, and then you've got the movable piece in Meek, you've got Scorn as a possible drop down down. You've got all the swarms for 3 on the board if you need to on turn 6. There's a lot of cool things that you can do with this list. So if you're looking for a non-interactive deck, something that's just going to get a bunch of points and let you run your game plan and not worry about your opponent as much, this is a good deck to be able to do that, and it's consistent. It's very easy to make your lines. You know your snap conditions right and early on. You have Dakin, Frigga, and Morbius. You're looking pretty strong. You have Modok, Swarm, Bullseye, and either Morbius or Collector or both down early. You're looking pretty strong. The snap conditions are very easy on this deck, so I'm going to highly recommend it as well. But speaking of non-interactive decks, there is a deck that is still king of that title. And there was one card that released over 6 months ago that brought it over the top to its sustainability, and that's Esme Cuckoo. Because you want to talk about the king of non-interaction. It's this. It's Negative. And Negative is one of those decks that just won't go away, because when you have the draw, oh man, this deck's ceiling is incredibly high. So your snapping early is very important when you see the line ahead of you. But to take it a step further, the reason I waited this long to put Mr. Negative into the list is specifically because of Esme Cuckoo. Esme Cuckoo brought Negative to a level of consistency that it didn't have before. Because the downside with Negative previously, before Esme, was that it was all or nothing really on the Mr. Negative line. It was very, very, you have it or you don't, you snap early and it's a 2-cube deck. With Esme as another backup plan to get another 3-4 something, if you don't pull the Mr. Negative line, very often you're saving yourself with a 3-cost something that populates into your hand because of Esme Cuckoo. And if you have this card in your deck, in your collection, I'm going to highly recommend Negative is a great way to climb back up to infinite as fast as possible. It's a very easy snap condition deck as well, incredibly high ceiling. You've got Jane Foster bringing all of those zeros back into your hand. The only hit this deck really took was Mystique gaining a point of power. But even with that, Taskmaster, Gore, Iron Man, Sage, I mean, there's so much good happening in this deck that you can't stay away from it if you need to climb quickly. So if this 6 months ago was the last time you played, I'm going to highly recommend this style specifically of a Negative deck. But if you just took a small hiatus, let's say you stopped back in the fall, 3 months ago from this video's release, you left at an incredibly oppressive time because there was the rise of the end of turn decks. This is when First Steps everything came out. But I hate to tell you, if you collected everything and you got tired of end of turn, it went away, barely, because it's still the deck I'm going to recommend for those of you who want to climb quickly through the 60s to infinite if you're missing some of the more relevant recent releases that have happened in Marvel Snap. The Invisible Woman First Steps Fantastic Car build is just stupid strong. You had Joe Costa released to bring it over the top that month, and this deck is, again, a very non-interactive deck. It's straight up, I'm gonna put a bunch of points on the board. They're all gonna happen after your animations, and there's nothing you girls can do about it. That's a Mulan joke for those who don't know. But I loved this list when it comes to easy power. It's a really easy power deck. Cheap cards, play 2 at a time, boost up Athena, wait for Havoc on the very end, get the lane set up of Invisible Woman, Joe Costa, Prodigy, Fantastic Car shenanigans, activate, explode on the final turn, and just all of the power with all of the numbers, and there's not much your opponent can do. Killmonger comes and goes. So there are moments where this deck feels mediocre, but there are variations of this deck that you can just take out a Spider-Ham and take out a Black Cat and then just run only 2 1-drops and put more beefier cards into the middle of the package. There's a lot of variations to this deck, but this version of it I think has the highest ceiling and I think is going to be a great way to get you back to infinite if you've been gone only for a couple of months. So I hope that helps. I hope that these deck lists make it easier for you to come back to Marvel Snap. And if you watched this video as a current active player, all of those lists are still good in today's meta. So take any of them. If you have the cards, build the decks and give them a shot. Let me know what your win rates are. Tell me how well you perform down in the comments below. I don't know if I've helped you. But if I did, hey, the channel did its job, I did my job, and both Taxi and I are incredibly proud to say, welcome back. I'll see you next time.